I have a modern versus biblical Hebrew question.
Go ahead.
Okay. So it's a word, the word mitbach, kitchen,
Mitbach,
versus mitbeach, right?
matbeach.
Matbeach. So sacrifice and kitchen.
Yeah, sure.
And it kind of makes sense, right? To me, I mean, is that really the same root? Because the kitchen is where you would effectively do the slaughtering, right? To make
Right.
modern times.
Right. So basically, the root. This root is interesting in biblical Hebrew. Let me write it on screen. The root is tet beten chet. Just a second. Okay. So the root is tet beten chet. Might be also connected to zayin beten chet, right? You can see sharing the bet and the chet, and the tet and the zayin, okay, representing consonants that might have been originally related to one another. The, okay, something that sounded like the in biblical, in Proto-Hebrew or in an earlier stage, and the tet is close to the d. The t and the d are close to one another. You can see that in English as well, like eat and edible. Okay, the t and the d are connected. So tet, bet, and chet, and zayin, bet, and chet might be related. In any case, tet, bet, and chet has to do with slaughtering. That's the basic sense, the basic meaning of this root. Of this root, you get the slaughterer, tabach. Okay, tabach, literally a slaughterer. Contextually, slaughterer would be the cook, the chef, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the one butchering the animal and preparing it. So that's tabach. Based on that, you have a pattern in Hebrew that is used for places or structures. Okay, that is the miktal pattern. Okay, which you would find in words such as migdal or mivtach. Okay, so based on that concept of marrying roots and patterns, we get the word mitbach, which is the place of butchering or the place of cooking. Mitbach. Now, interestingly, this root tet, bet, and chet can be, as in all of these examples that we've presented so far, had to do with the butchering or slaughtering of animals. Unfortunately, it can also stand for the butchery of people, slaughtering of people. So, for instance, a massacre is a tevach in modern Hebrew, and not just in modern Hebrew. One of the figures that has caused the Israelite people, the Hebrew people, much harm during the late First Temple period is Nebuzaradan Rav Tabachim. Okay, the chief butcher, and he wasn't just a cook for the king, but he was the head of the guard. Okay, he was the head of the royal slaughterers. So you can see Nebuzaradan Rav Tabachim. Let me write it. Nebuzaradan is obviously a Babylonian name. You can see the Nevu at the beginning, which is part of the deity named Nabu, the god of wisdom, like as in Nebuchadnezzar. Same Nabu there. Okay. And Nebuzaradan, okay, is this different figure. He is the head of the generals, possibly, or the bodyguards. Nebuzaradan. Okay, we can also understand the name Nebuzaradan. Nevu, we said that Nevu has to do with the god of wisdom. Nabu in Akkadian. In Hebrew, he is known as Nevo. That's a foreign deity mentioned in the Bible. Korah Bel Kores Nevo. Zar remind you of, or even Zara reminds you of any word in Hebrew?
So Zera, seed, right?
Zera, seed. This is indeed, in Hebrew, it's with an ayin. Zera, seed. I should say that the ayin and the aleph, being guttural letters, are a little bit, they may interchange under certain circumstances, especially in Akkadian. In Babylonia and Assyria, they had hard time with the gutturals, harder than in Hebrew. So you can see certain consonants, like they don't have a way to even distinguish between the two. Let me give you an example. You know the deity that was the main contestant for the Lord God of Israel in the land of Canaan, right? That's the Baal. How do we call him if we're going a little bit east to the area of Mesopotamia? What's his name? Of the same concept?
Just Baal.
Almost. You know the word. You know the answer, guys. If the lesson would be very long and the question would be hanging by the end of the lesson because you had to go, the time for the lesson would finish, you would be saved by the
bell.
Right. Bell. And indeed, the long air vowel stands for the ayin. Why? Because in Babylonia and Assyria, they had even weaker throats than we have here in Israel. Okay, especially in comparison to Arabic, where you can even duplicate guttural letters, they could not even pronounce them. So we've talked about Nevo or Nabu, Zara or Zar, which would be seed or descendants. As you know, Zera could be seed, but could be also descendants. Okay, in a more metaphorical sense. Okay, not okay. So Zera, descendants. Now Dan. Ooh, that's also interesting. Okay. We talked about the similarity between the D and the T sounds, right? Okay. Yeah. If we were to have a T, a tav here, what would you have thought about this ending?
Natan, like give.
Right, exactly. So in Babylonian, instead of Natan, it is Nadan. Okay, Nadanum. Okay, that's the word Nadanum, and even one of the biblical texts, you might remember the text that is mentioned in the book of Ezra, Minda belo v'halach. You know, you remember the people, they don't want the Jerusalem to be rebuilt, and they said to the king, if you let the Jews rebuild their city, they will stop paying you all of these types of tax, right? They would avoid paying taxes. Okay. There was an American comedian maybe 100 years ago. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he had his English was not proper. and the Society of Women for English or something like that, they went against him and they said to him, listen, he doesn't know and his syntax is all wrong. And he said to them, listen, ladies, I'm from Texas. Anything that has sin or tax in it, I know it's not good. So, right. So the people, they told the king that you will not be given the minda belo v'halach. Minda, by the way, this in the Bible is also midah, also mentioned in the book of Nehemiah and other books. So nun daled, okay, is like nun daled nun is similar to nun tav nun. So all in all, Nebuzaradan means the god Navu gave seed, gave descendants. Okay? Now he was Rav Tabachim. Rav Tabachim. He was the chief Rav, like a rabbi. That is great. The chief of something. We have Rav Shakeh, right? Rav Shakeh, and we have Rav Tabachim. So Nebuzaradan was Rav Tabachim. He was the chief of the slaughterers. Unfortunately, in his case, he was not cook or a chef. He was an executor or a chief bodyguard or a chief general. Okay, so that's a little bit about the root Tet, Bet, and Chet related to slaughtering, butchering, kitchen, and interesting things.